life, my man.
We've had the internet since 1992, and now I never have a sense of what to do, because we're all just nodes connecting me and you. We wonder if all information should be free, and with our education, how tech could it be, if our devices might change our biology. I'll get my macro and go to Google. Digital life has changed who we are. Digital life has changed who we are. Binary in our hearts. Oh, oh. And now we tweet and log and hashtag all our thoughts. Our children start to play their personal robots. Nothing is real until we instant on our shots. We gotta post it. That makes it bad, yeah. Digital life has changed who we are. Digital life has changed who we are. GPS to drive my car. The phone finds me restaurants and bars. Sometimes I think it's so bizarre. I'm with you, but my mind is far. Distraught when I lose Wi-Fi bars. Just wanna be a YouTube star. Video star.
Well, now, what about the future? I know you suggest that we're always behind ourselves in realizing what's going on.
When we're always living a way ahead of our thinking, yes.
Marshall McLuhan studies the media as a way of understanding what it is that makes us live in the way we do, as a way of understanding society itself.
You know, we're all connected in a new way. This is kind of a new species of humans. You know, it's a cyborg species. We're growing and evolving with our technology. We're no longer just human.
Welcome to Module 1 of EDTP 580, Digital Citizenship, Technology with Teaching. This first module is going to set up what I'd like to call your digital presence. This will also be a way that you will keep track of all of your work that you do in class. Each module represents a class meeting, and you'll notice when you look at the modules that you will see the class number and the date when they occur. Also, you will notice that each module contains the language that's in your syllabus. So everything that is in your syllabus is recreated in your Blackboard. Hello, my name is Stephen Swan. I'll be your instructor for this class. This class is an exploration of your digital life as a person and as a teacher. We are here to explore the issues, the excitement, the traps that we need to look out for as teachers in living in this digital world that we now live in and educate in. We no longer can be separate, these two lives. And you, as a potential teacher, need to understand where your personal life and your professional life are going to overlap. We have lots of things that we'll be exploring. There are elements known as digital citizenship that we'll be exploring in class 2 and 3, and we'll talk about that. We are going to be looking at our digital tattoo. In other words, what is your online presence like? We will give you time in class 5 to actually complete all of the work up till then. DC and the law is probably one of the most important ones that you will experience, because as a profession, teaching and the worst offenders are college professors. We are the worst offenders of copyright violations. We will talk about social media. What does it mean? We will play with some social media. We're going to be looking at the digital health and wellness, which is a very much a large part of what we and our students are experiencing. Online security has become very much an item of discussion because of all of the hacks that we are seeing going on. You need to know how to create an online identity that is secure and safe. We need to understand what digital citizenship and literacy are all about, how we use all of this wonderful media that we have available to us, and how we can use tools like smartboards and tablets to become better teachers. This is one of the modules that we get lots of rave reviews from our folks about. We need to understand what an acceptable use policy means and how it reflects the 9 elements of digital citizenship. We also need to understand in that module about bullying, because that is a very, very important part of what we as teachers in this digital world that we will be working in need to be aware of. We have so many children who are bullied using technology. You have a 2-part final. Your first part is something called DC, the Digital Driver's License. We'll be taking that. It's an online project where you basically read some things, answer some questions. It's not difficult, and of course we'll walk you through it. Your final, the other part of your final will be this, the DC and the PSA. You'll be using a tool called Animoto to make a public service announcement about one of the elements in digital citizenship that you have enjoyed the most. Okay, so those are all the modules that are in our class. Inside each one of the modules are the resources that you will need to be able to complete the task. And as you can see here, we have our first task is going to be, we're going to create a Wikispace. We're going to learn how to create a Voki, and we're going to learn how to embed a video and a Voki and anything that has embeddable content into our Wikispace. Think of your Wikispace as an online folder, online portfolio. As you can see here, if you click on where it says Create Our Digital Presence Wikispaces, inside of here are oodles and oodles of resources to help you understand how to do your Wikispace. Now, one of the things that I feel very strongly about is differentiated instruction. So in here there are Wikispace tutorials that are essentially PDFs that you can read, print out, hold in your hand, and walk through what you have to do. There are also videos in here. If you're the kind of person who likes to see things and watch things, they're in here. There are also web links that will take you to, again, step-by-step directions on how to set up your Wikispace. I'm going to show you how to set it up because it's just that simple. But I wanted you to see the process. Now notice when you're in Blackboard, at the top wherever you've got it open, you will see these little phrases. These are called breadcrumbs. This is how you maneuver around inside of Blackboard. So as you can see, Module 1 we're in the Digital Presence Wikispaces. So if I want to go back to the top of Module 1, I just click on that link, and it'll bring me up to the top. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to create a digital avatar, and we're going to use Voki to do that. Voki is very simple, very easy to do. Alright, so let's get started here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go to a website called Wikispaces.com. And here we are. This is Wikispaces.com. Now, when you go here, you're going to create a free web presence. This is a wiki, and by definition a wiki is what we call a flat HTML presence, meaning there's nothing fancy going on here. It just understands a very simple WYSIWYG environment where what you see is what you get. That's what WYSIWYG means. And you can type in it just like you would on any word processor, but you have the ability to use a highly technical skill called copy-paste. If you understand how to do that, then you've got this class licked. That's all it takes. The rest of it is just plain fun. So how do we build a Wikispace? It's very simple. You're going to come down here and you're going to tell it that you want an education wiki. To get an education wiki, you get it for free. All you have to do is provide it with an email that represents an educational institution. So if you're going to University of Louisville, you'll use your U of L card mail. If you're in a school district somewhere, you'll use that school district email. Either one will get you a free Wikispace. So I'm going to click on it where it said education, and right now I'm going to tell it that I want a Wikispace classroom, and the way I do that is I'm going to type in a username, and then I'm going to give it an email. Now that email must represent an educational institution. And then I'm going to give it a password. Now at this point, you need to be writing this down, because if you forget it, there's no way that we can find this information. So I'm going to pause a second here and let you get your username put in, your email, and your password. Remember, your username should be something that represents you as a professional. So if I wanted to, I could put in here Steve Swan, U-L-I-T, which means University of Louisville Instructional Technology. If I were a math teacher, I might put Steve Swan Math. If I were an English teacher, Steve Swan English. Something that represents who you are. Don't put something in there that'll be embarrassing. Put something in there that represents you professionally. I will now click on Create Classroom. And as you can see, it's kicking me out because it says it already has a user with that email. So I'll go ahead and put in another email. Don't you worry. Yours will work. My problem is I have so many of these, I've probably used up every single one of them. So now I've got a new wiki. And what it's asking me to do now is to come up with its name. So again, at this point, I need to think about professionally how I want to call my wiki. So I could call it my name, and I might call it the class that I'm in with my wiki. Or I might call it my name and what I teach. It's up to you. Keep it short because as you can see, what I've typed in here is Steve Swan EDTP 580 at Wikispaces.com. This becomes, .wikispaces.com. This becomes my presence on the web. This is now the address, and if I give this to people, they'll find what I have created. So I'm going to start typing in the name of my school. And as you can see, it finds it. And I'm going to tell it what I do. And then I'm going to certify that I use this wiki for educational uses only. So let's go back and review. So as you can see, I've given it a name. That name is something I can remember, so don't make it too long. I'm going to tell it that I'm in the United States, obviously. Then I can tell it that I can find my school. University of Louisville, you'll always find it. If you want to put in your school, that's fine. If you're working in a school somewhere. You don't have to put in the course. That's fine. And then you can also, the subject being taught is optional. Okay? Make sure you check that box. I certify this wiki will be used for education. Create. Here we are. Now, what Wikispaces is doing is they are trying to create a Facebook Edmodo Schoology type environment. We don't want to mess with this. This is not where we want to be. So we're going to go over here and we're going to turn all of this off. And we're going to start here by going to Settings. Once I'm in Settings, I'm going to go to General. And once I'm in General, I'm going to turn off Classroom and select Wiki. As simple as that. Now notice the niceties about Wikispaces. At some point, if I've decided I don't like Steve Swan EDTP 580, I can change it right here. So if you want to change your wiki name, you can. Now, understand if you want to change it to something that already exists, it'll tell you that. Just like anything you create on the web, it'll say this is already taken. But the nice thing about it is it's already all there that you can go in and change it. Okay, so I've changed that it's now a wiki. I'm going to save it. Always remember to save. Here's the next really important part, permissions. Now, you have to decide how you're going to set this up. And right now it's set up as private. The only problem with private is I can't see it. No one else can see it. You don't want it to be public, though. You want it to be so that people can see it, but they can't work within it. To do that, we have to verify our account. So what you do now is you're going to use your phone, and you're going to give it a cell phone number, or any phone number actually. And I'm going to request that it call me. Oh, the reason why I'm getting an error number is that I have lots of wikis, and so therefore it's calling me to tell me that, or it won't call me because it already has this all on file. So no harm, no foul. You will get a phone call. It will tell you how to certify it, and then you'll be fine. Now, once you get certified, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make this a protected wiki. And by being protected, then, what it allows you to do is it allows you to say, I'll let people see this, but only certain people can see what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm going to come down here and I can turn off things by saying you can only have the following. And I'm going to update. All right. Now, I can't change my account, but you will have changed your account by now, and you'll make sure that you have changed it over to protected. All right. Let's look at some of the other things that we can do in here. One of the other things you can change is what it looks like. So you can come down here, the themes and colors, and you've got all of these different looks. A lot of people like this spiral notebook look. Some people will pick the one that has the same colors as U of L, so on and so on. You get to pick what you want it to look like. And that's really all there is to it. You now own a part of the web. Notice over here, it could be on this side or it could be on this side, depending upon how you have set it up, is essentially a table of contents page. And one of the things that you will learn how to do is how to add pages right here where it says pages and files. Every time we do a new module, you will be creating a new page. To do that, you'll just simply click the plus sign and you type in the name of the page and you create it. It's as simple as that. For today, though, we're going to start off with just using our home page. Whenever you want to work within your wiki, you have to follow a very simple pattern. You will click on the page that you want to work in over here, and then you will click on the button that says Edit. Once you do that, you now have the ability to use a very simple word processor up here. And that very simple word processor allows you to write inside your wiki. Now, a word of warning. You cannot leave a wiki page blank like this one. If you do, it won't show up. The web hates a null set. In other words, the web hates nothing. The web always wants something to be there. So if I were to go ahead and try to work forward and create all these pages, because I now know each module represents a page, but I don't put anything in the page except the title, then it won't save. So what I would have to do is create the page, type something on there like digital life or digital tattoo, whatever the title of the module might be, and then save it. It will save it. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to, on this page, we're going to create a Voki, which is an avatar that basically will speak for us. We are going to copy, using that very highly technical skill that I told you about called copy-paste, the video that you are going to watch and respond to. Let's go back and look at what those things are that we have to put in here. So we're going to respond to, we're going to put a Voki in here. It says in several paragraphs, talk to us about what using technology in the computer and a computer in the classroom or out of the classroom has been like for you. Talk to us about your views on computers in the classroom. What role, if any, do you think computers should play? I have a couple of resources, I'll show you before we quit, that you can go look at that will show you the trends in education technology. Now, I've also decided that I'm going to let you have Sir Ken Robinson's How to Escape Education's Death Alley because it's such a good one. You don't need to worry about how the world will be in 2020. We'll just use Sir Ken's because his is so much better. And then you're also going to respond to 3 TED Talks. These I'll show you in a minute. These are very easy to get to. They're right there in the module. And these TED Talks are essentially videos that you can watch that have all kinds of really exciting ideas about technology use. Now, I'm glad this has happened because I can talk to you about one of the things you need to understand about your browser. Your browser, and I don't care if you're in Firefox, Safari, Chrome, or Internet Explorer. Browsers have become very, very concerned about security, so they do lots of things to lock down security, and that would include showing videos. You can see every one of these is actually a video. But if I click on Firefox, if I click on my little gray shield, and I drop down to where it says disable protection for now, watch what happens. All of this will change and I will now be able to see the videos that are here. It's that simple. Now if you're in Internet Explorer, there is a message that comes up at the bottom of your browser window that says, do you want me to display this secure content? You always will say display or yes, depending upon the version. Safari says something very similar, and so does Chrome. And that's all you do, and then they pop right in. We're going to get to those in a minute. You only need to find 3 of these. There are lots of them here, and they're all wonderful. They go across the board in terms of your interest. I hope you find 3 in here that are interesting to you. I have lots of people in class who will say that they watch TED Talks on a regular basis. Can they just go to the TED Talk sites and find their own? Absolutely. You don't have to use mine. You can use your own if you want to. So let's get back to our Wikispace. So in our Wikispace, the first thing it said that we are going to put in here is a Voki. So how do we go and do a Voki? Well, they're about as easy and as fun as it can be. So I'm going to go to Voki.com. Here I am. You can create your own account, or if you would like, you may use mine. It is sbswan02@louisville.edu. The password is all lowercase ULIT2 2, 4, 1. Now, the reason why you can use that account is I have an education account. It's paid, and you're more than welcome to use it. You
Come to the webcast. You will read the instructions and follow.
You will use this as a way to create your Voki here in just a second. But you are more than welcome to use this in your own classroom. In other words, you can go in here and create your own Voki classroom and give your kids their own unique logins so they can come in and create their own Vokis. Well, let's do one, and you'll see how easy it is to do. So I'm going to go up here to the tab that says Create. And the first thing I need to do is I need to decide on what is my character. So I'm going to go in and click on the Choose Your Character. I'm going to tell it that I'm a male. And then I'm going to start looking. And I'm going to start looking for a face that approximates what my face looks like. I can pick the different ways of looking at my characters. So I can look at politics. I can look at holidays. I don't know if you want to be Santa Claus. I go with politics because John McCain and I have a similar facial feature. We're both got big, fat, round faces. So I'm going to pick John's. Then I'm going to go to my hairstyle here. And I'm going to cut back on my hair a little bit. If I wanted to go bald, I could. Okay. Oh, over here, this is where you can tweak things in terms of how your face looks. You can make your mouth bigger, smaller, however you want to do it. You can make your nose bigger, smaller. You can make yourself look taller, have a big giant brain head. You can make yourself fatter, however you want to do it. You can play with the color of things. So if you want to get your eye color correct, skin color correct, so on. You can play with all of that. Over here we've got a way to play around with your mouth. John and I's mouth I think is fine. So I'm going to leave that one alone. As you can see, you can do some very strange things here as you play with how you look. Then I can go in, I can do my clothing. I can be a lot more relaxed about how my clothes look. Or I can put myself in a tuxedo. Up to you. And again, as you can see, you have different choices here. Under bling, I can put in glasses if I want to wear glasses. It's up to me. Eventually, what will happen is you'll play around with this and you'll get a face that you like and you'll say done. Now at this point, this is where the interesting stuff kicks in. You're going to give it a voice. Now you can do your voice a number of ways. I would not recommend using your cell phone because it sounds horrible. You could type it in. And I'm going to type in my educational philosophy. Very simple. And I can go down here and I can play around with voices if I want to see how it sounds.
Believe that everyone can learn.
Okay. I can play with what kind of voice. Some of these are quite hilarious. I can play around with the kind of accent.
Die film figuren kan liggen.
I can play around with the language. I hope you caught that. So there's all kinds of ways that you can play with your Voki. Okay. Isn't that cool? So, once I can even play with a sound effect. So if I wanted to,
Everyone can learn.
I don't think we want to do that though.
I believe in everyone can learn.
Right. Once I get done with that, I can say done. If I want to add a background to him, so he's standing in front of something else besides, I think he's in front of St. Louis there. Let's see. San Francisco. You get the idea. There's lots of choices here. Enjoy. Play. Oh, here you go. That's a nice beach. I think I'll be there. Let's see. Outdoors. Okay. You get the idea. Now, once I get it all finished, I'm going to publish it. I'm going to give it a name. And it's going to create it. Now this is where that magic ability that I talked about, a copy-paste, comes in. First of all, I'm going to make my Voki nice and big because I like it. And I'm going to copy and paste this code to put in my web page. I'm just going to hold down my mouse, highlight all of it, right click on it, copy, or I can use my keyboard, Apple C or Control C, and then I'm going to come back over here to my Wikispace and I'm going to type up here at the top, this is my Voki. Now you need to be aware in Wikispaces where your cursor is, because at that insertion point is where it puts things. You can't drag things around on a Wikispace like you can in, say, PowerPoint. So where it goes is where it's stuck. I can come up here to Widget. I come all the way to the bottom, Other HTML. And right here in the box, I use that other highly technical skill, Paste. Now, if I want to make sure that it's there before I actually put it there, I can preview it. But I'm going to tell you, it'll be there. I'm going to save it. Oh no, Steve, there's a gray box there. There's no Voki there. Yes, it's there. That's just a placeholder. Now while we're here, let's look at some of the features of the editor. You'll notice that when I typed, it's pretty straightforward, simple type. If I want to change what my type looks like, I can go up here and I can bold it, and we know what that is. If I wanted to, I can italicize it. Again, we know what that is. I can highlight it. I can underline it. We know what that is. Here, this T is where I can change what the text actually looks like. So if I want to make my text bigger, I can click on the plus sign here and make it bigger. I can change my fonts here. So if I want to do the Arial Black, which is a nice big font, then I can do that. This is where I can change the alignment of it. I want it to the left. I can even change the text color of it if I wanted to. and then I'll click on Apply Styles. And as you can see, it changes it. Simple as that. The rest of these are if you wanted to do a numbered list. So in other words, it basically does the same thing as a bulleted list in Word or PowerPoint. The link is you can actually put in a web link. File is how you upload things into your wiki, like pictures and other documents. We'll talk about how to use those. Table is like the hardest thing you'll learn, and it's the easiest thing to do. And we'll do in other modules, we'll play in these areas. But right now, all we had to know was how to take code. We copied it. We brought it over here. We clicked on a widget. We go all the way to the bottom of our list to other HTML. We click in the little box, and then we right-clicked and we pasted in whatever our code was. That's simple. Now remember, the gray represents just a placeholder. So I'm now going to click on Save and watch the magic. What's going to happen now is it's going to reach out and it's going to find my Voki. But again, my silly browser likes to get in the way, and so I had to turn the protection off, and then it pops in. There it is. So don't panic if something doesn't show up right away. Realize that it's your browser. Now look what it does. When you move your mouse around, the head moves with it. Of course, when I click on it,
Believe in everyone can learn.
okay, it'll talk. And that's all there is to it. Now, the thing that the reason why I wanted to show you that is, if you go back to the module, it says, now you're going to talk to me about your experiences in using technology, what role you think it is, what role it plays in education. Where is this resource material Steve is talking about? It's over here in Announcements. 30 Trends in Education Technology for 2015. Okay, you can look at this and you can see what people think are going to be the new trends that will be occurring in this year for technology in school. Isn't that cool? Then we'll pop back over here to our module again. So we're going to write about that. And remember I told you we're going to use Sir Ken's How to Escape Education's Death Valley. And you're going to give me just a simple paragraph of what you think about Sir Ken. Well, so let's go get Sir Ken and put him in our Wikispace. We've already done the Voki. We're going to open this up. There he is. Oh, there's the 2020. So you can use either one. Isn't that nice? I totally forgot I kept it in here, but there it is. So watch both. You can use either one. How do I get it over to my wiki? Well, watch how easy this is. So I'm going to put my mouse on top of the video I want. Of course, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go all the way to YouTube where it lives. So I'm going to click on the YouTube. I'm going to right click on it. And where it says copy embed code. Now, if you remember from your Voki, knowing the embed code, I can now put it on my page. So I go to Widget, Other HTML, paste it in, save it, and now I have two gray boxes. If I save the page again, not only do I have my wonderful Voki, I now also have my movie. As simple as that. And of course, you do the same for finding your TED Talks. Now, you don't have to do all this on the first day of class. You just have to know where all of these resources are that you're going to use. So let's review. We used Wikispaces.com to make our own Wikispace, which is totally awesome. We used Voki.com to create our own Voki, which is nothing more than a representation of what you look like. We logged into the Voki using Steve's username and password because you got my permission. That was sbswan02 at louisville.edu. Password, all lowercase, all one word, ULIT241. And once you get in, you start by picking what your person, the face that you want to use, is going to look like. You go through the various choices that you have. Yes, you could be a dog if you want to. You could be a cat if you want to. It doesn't have to be a perfect representation of you, although I think most of us would like to do that. Let me pop back. If you have a beard like I do, it's kind of hard to find somebody, frankly. There's just not a lot of beard people in here unless you go with the characters that are a little strange. But keep looking. You'll find one eventually. I could take this guy and basically I can get rid of his hat and everything, and I can tweak his hair color, make it look more like mine, so on and so on. But you're basically going to build your Voki. You're going to record it. You can either type it or you could record your own voice if you wanted to. Oh dear, I'm on my Mac and my Mac doesn't like to record. Oh dear. Okay, we're going to skip this. If you're on a PC, this will work. If you're on a Mac, it takes another step, and I'll be glad to share with you how to do that. But the point is you can copy the code and paste it into your Wikispace. Also, remember that here in our Module 1 are all the pieces you need to be able to do this module. Okay? So, responding to the first part about living, what's it like to live surrounded by all this technology? And what's it like to work in this environment? Well, here's a couple of resources I give you. The trends and watching the internet grow. This is really kind of cool. It actually lets you see what the internet is doing right now. And as you can see, there we go. So in this second that I'm now looking at it, this is what's happening. Isn't this amazing? Look at the post and the likes in Facebook. Every second. Okay, so that's essentially Module 1. You have created your portfolio, your digital present space. You created a Voki to put in here. You are now going to talk to me about your experiences with technology as a user and as a professional. You're going to use the resources that are there, like this one, and the trends in education technology. You are going to, after you've written that, you're going to go and watch either movie from Sir Ken or 2020. You're going to copy the embed code, and you're going to then go through your steps and paste that into your Wikispace. Remember, in Wikispaces we hit edit. The gray box tells us something's there. If we have embeddable code that we want to put in here to bring in whatever it is we want to see, we go to Widget, Other HTML, right-click, Paste, or Control-V. I'll show you how Preview works while we're sitting here. It says, look, see, it's from YouTube, so it's there, and you save it, and now your video is there. If you want to get rid of it, just use your backspace and get rid of it, or click on it once, hit your backspace, or delete either one, and it goes away. Remember to always save your pages when you get finished. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all there is to module number 1. Okay, I look forward to seeing you and to sharing more new modules with you. I will produce these every Sunday night before class. They will be there for you the Monday of class, so you can watch them anytime you want after that Sunday. They will, or after that Monday, excuse me. They will always be there. They won't change. I will also be recording class, so there will be Collaborate recordings as well. Let me show you where those are. So these recordings that I'm talking about, that I'm doing right now, will always be located at the top level of each one of the modules. So for our first module, you will see the video. I'll probably put it right here. It will say video for module number 1, but also the recordings for class will be located right here. If you want to hear or see what we did in class in synchronous time, in other words in real time, face-to-face time, you can click on that, and those recordings will be there, and of course they'll all be identified as module 1. Those recordings will only be there though the Tuesday after Monday's class. Okay? Any questions, concerns? You know how to reach me. You text me at 502-457-2937. I've asked you in the first text that you send me to just put your name in there so I can add you to my contacts so I know who it is that's trying to get a hold of me. I hope you're going to enjoy the class. It really is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, and I will talk to you later.